All right, ban list, ban list, ban list, ban list. It's gonna come soon. We just finished the PPG regional, June 28th, so that just finished today. And if a ban list is going to come, it's going to come between now and Anybox. So I think now is the perfect time to create a list. Predictions. Keep it a little more tame on the theme side for things that might get hit. There's going to be some stuff here worth discussion, but I want to just say that majority of the stuff in here probably will not get touched. It's very likely only two specific cards or one of two specific cards will get touched. The rest of here is just up for discussion. So we're going to start with the leader here. This card very much likely will never come back, but it is a leader that is a fan favorite and maybe can get a reimagining like what Gamma 1 and 2 got with their reimagining. I would love to see a reimagining of SS4 Goku and Vegeta in it together. Where it's maybe like toned down a little bit on the, maybe take away the combo and rest, keep them with their draws and free plays like they have, keep them with some of that, that feeling of it. I don't know if you need the combo and rest because the new Beast is now a card which does that, so you can put that in your deck. But you could just bring this back, leave Triumphant Together banned. That card can stay in the canal that it's currently in. But this card could be cool to come back. I would like to see it back, just like this. Just leave Triumphant Together off. It's just a good red Saiyan deck that draws a lot and can combo cards in rest mode. It would probably go straight back to meta relevancy just because of how much it draws, which is an argument that my friends have of why it shouldn't come back. Because why ban a just generic red Saiyan leader that's all it wants to do is draw a lot of cards. So maybe we get a reimagining of this card, but I could totally love to see this card come back, this leader. Now we'll start with the main stuff. We've got green. The first one is going to be Latent Power Unleashed, the Gohan SGR for green. We discussed this card a lot, and I think it's at the point where green is a good enough color that this card doesn't need to exist. You gotta remember, this card came out when green was trash. Pretty much it was just like a really, really terrible color. That almost nobody played because it was so bad. I think this card can finally go. There are certain green leaders like Vegito that just puts this in the Z for free, gets its effect, triggers it off, boom, 3 markers off of Unison. And guess what? This day and age, the game revolves around Z Unison. So just having a 1 energy answer to pretty much every Unison, because things aren't just going to have higher than 3 markers unless it's like Jiren, and that specifically is Jiren. And maybe like Green Cooler now that I got Anybox support. But this card for 1 energy nuking a Unison, I think it's too much nowadays with how good the color is now for green. I do think this card has lived its time. I think it should go. Do I think it's actually going to get hit? No, it's not going to get hit, but I think it should go. The next card is going to be this one. Everyone at my local hates it. This is Broly, Omen of Evolution. Active battle. You place this card in its owner's drop from the combo area, and then you drop one of their 0-cost combos that's in their combo area. So this card, in my opinion, 100% needs to go. I think the other ones are fine because Jocko, and I think there's one that's like a Kai of some kind. They bounce the card back to hand, so at least you're not losing it. But the fact that this kills the combo makes your opponent basically just said that they discarded one. That's too good nowadays, in my opinion, because the whole game revolves around 1 Z energy starters. And having a card that just denies your opponent their 1 Z energy starter is just so detrimental. You play into certain matchups where you go, oh, I'm going to combo 1, and then they just randomly Broly Omen you. You almost can't play your whole turn for that turn 2. So I personally think this card should go. I don't think this card is healthy anymore. He lost Shumai, sure, it can do it, but at least that card costs an energy. They got to give up their turn 1. And let's face it, blue isn't good unless you're playing Gamma right now. Or you live in NA and you play 21, because that's the only place that 21 can do good. But no, I think this card deserves to go. I don't think this card should exist anymore. It's just my opinion. They built the game around 1 Z energy starters, and this card just for nothing on turn 0 can stop that. It's kind of similar to how this one, they built the game around Z Unisons now, and then this one just nukes Z Unison. So I just think these cards have overlived their welcome for the type of game that Bandai is trying to promote right now. I think these cards should go. Now, the only color that we're not talking about for potential hits is going to be arguably the worst color in the game currently, and that is blue. So this one, you're either going to be on my side saying it should come back to 1, or you're going to be against me and you're going to be calling me brain dead about wanting it to come back to 1. I think this card should go to 1. You know, if red and green can have theirs at 1 and black can have theirs at 4, and I mean, we're not going to talk about Prideful because the yellow one is not good. But this one I think can come back to 1. Blue is not that good of a color at the current moment. And I think just giving them 1 God Seal would give them a good amount of defense or offense to stop a Floodgate from trying to stop them when they're actually going for their kill turn. I think a 1 of God Seal would be nice. Would it come back? I seriously doubt it, but I do think a 1 of God Seal would be a cool thing to have back in the game. The next one is Plan for Destruction. This one would need to come back with an errata. Well, my buddy says that this card could come back probably without an errata at this point, just because of like how slow it is compared to what it wants to do. The errata that I think it would need to come back with is permanent. This card cannot leave your energy, just so that you can't loop it over and over. This card can come back to 1 or 4, do its thing. They want to push Expert Goku Black. We just saw support for it in the Anti-Box, but everyone knows that deck is just dead. The deck is not good, unfortunately. They're going to basically, if they want to promote Goku Black and Zamasu decks that aren't the Zamasu Mill deck, it's basically you're going to have to unban this card to give them a real fighting chance. And I think Expert Goku Black would get a lot better if Plan for Destruction came back, even to 1, just because it would be a Saki 1-of. But I do believe this card should come back at this point to boost those decks. That's it for blue. Next, we're going to have the single black card that should be hit, in my opinion. We've got the Striking a Weak Point, Goku and Vegeta. This card isn't like... Let me not say this the wrong way. This card isn't as bad as it was before Beyond the Limits got banned, but this card is still egregious. The fact that every other color has their free counterplays either limited or banned, except for yellow, which all it is like a 14k blocker that rests something, is ridiculous. This card does more than every other counterplay except for like God Seal. This hits a 5 or less, is a burst 2 and then cycle a card into your Z energy. It beams your leader, it's a fusion material, it's a 20k swing, it's also just an overwhelm, so you can overwhelm with it. This card's insane. This card's stupid. This card should not be existing at more than 1. This card should be a 1-of. I get it, black isn't the craziest color right now, but that doesn't excuse having an egregiously poorly designed card like this card. This card should 100% be at 1, and I don't know why it's not at 1. That's it for black. Now, the next ones are going to be red cards, and they're the Dark Broly's. A lot of people are clamoring for the Dark Broly cards to get hit in one way or the other. You could slap them with an errata, but we know Bandai's not going to really go about the errata route. They really try to avoid that nowadays. So I seriously doubt that it's going to get errata. More than likely, what Bandai is going to do, which would probably be the wrong thing other than errataing it, is ban them. Because the way that Vegeta is built, the red Vegeta deck, it's not meant to be a red-black multicolor deck. Deck is meant to play with the red energy and then just have black cards. The reason they're black is because they come out of a warp, and like that wouldn't be like a red identity, so they just made them black cards. So I could totally see these cards getting banned. Honestly, these cards might get hit. I would not be surprised if these cards get hit on the ban list, because giving red the ability to have the Bardock the Tenacious, the Cumber that just warps through barrier, Evil Saiyan Malice Made Flesh to push through floodgates and burn a life, to have the Double Strike Goku that warps a guy on the field and goes 25k for 1 energy. It just is giving too much to red decks that already do all the red stuff good. They don't need the black stuff as well. They're limited in their capacity of like answering barrier or floodgating the opponent, but giving them those things that black has for the cheap for nothing is really good. Now, my friends are saying that these cards don't need hit. The friend group I play with, they say these cards are fine. leave them in Vegeta. It lets it be very unique compared to other red decks where it can play these cards and afford to play these cards, because other red decks really can't afford it in their archetype, but Vegeta can. They're saying leave it with that uniqueness, but if these cards didn't get hit, this card could be an option, which would be Rose Black Goku, just because we should limit the free play capabilities of this deck one way or the other, and I think this is the much better card to limit or ban. I think it should go to a 1. Yes, you can still just loop it even if it's at 1, but you got to get to it at least at that point. Just warping one out of your opponent's hand, not even discarding it, is really gross because they can't even play like anti-hand control cards into it. So this card's really good because it's 2 cards out of your opponent's hand every time it's played for free. It's the one that they're warping and the one to get out of the attack if they're a 15k leader. So if you're not gonna touch the Brolys, then I think it's Rose Black that needs it. I think Majin is fine. It's just a 25k swing. It's a one-time 25k swing, so your opponent can technically leave it on the field if you haven't beasted, because then it's just kind of stuck there and you're not going to loop it. But I do think that Rose would be the one definitely that needs to go. Now, I'll preface, all of these, I don't think any of these really will get touched. Besides, like, I think these ones will. The rest of these, I think they're not going to get touched. I think they're going to be left alone. Now, this row of cards right here, stuff will get touched here. There's no way it doesn't, and if it doesn't, then Bandai's not doing a good job balancing. Because these next 2 cards, something needs to happen between these 2. So, I do not think Cold Hearted's going to get touched. Alright? I feel like Cold Hearted is going to stay at 4, but I think Venomous Mist is going to get touched. Now, whether this card gets limited or banned, we'll see, because I personally think it should be limited. I don't think the card should be banned, because it's a Shadow Dragon only card, and having a unique type of card like that in a deck is something good to promote the uniqueness of the deck and how it's played. Yes, Saki 1-of suck, everyone knows. I get it. You don't like to lose to the 1-of, but, you know, I could, for some reason, see this card could stay at 1. It's a very good 1-of that you'll have to play around the whole game, which, you know, yeah, it sucks, but it could also get banned. I could totally see it. I don't see Cold Hearted getting the hammer, but I totally could see Venomous Mist. I think this card for sure is going to be on the list in some capacity, and if it's not this, then it's this. Because they need to stunt Nova somehow. Because right now, there's other good yellow decks, like Garlic, Puddlehan's coming out. And the thing is that they may be good, but they're not Nova. And that's just the unfortunate, case of it. So, one way or the other, one of these need to get hit. I do think it'll be Haze, though, because unlike back in the day, the reason why this wasn't good back then, which is crazy to say this wasn't good back then but got good now, is because the old Sin Shenron later didn't have the hand size to facilitate being able to just discard 4 from your hand to kill 2 cards, while Nova has like 14 cards in hand, 13 cards in hand. So Nova, looking at a 35k, will be able to just be like, okay, sure, I'm going to discard a card, combo Haze, and then Z-charge my Haze so that my multiple awakenings can have another card next turn. So I could totally see this card going. Now, and I never say this. Okay, let me drink some water first. 1 second. Okay. Now, I never say this. But if you disagree with this one, I'm sorry, you're wrong. This card needs to go. Goku Absolute Annihilation has overstayed its welcome in the game. This card, and it's crazy to say it at this point, is better than Swift Retaliation Cooler. And Swift Retaliation Cooler is banned. This card is way too powerful for this day and age. This card alone will win games. If you have 1 or 2 cards that lived from your opponent's turn as a yellow player and you slam this, especially, let's say it in the Nova sense, right? Because it's going to be, let's say you have nothing that lived, right? And you're going into 5 energy and your opponent's at like 3 or 4 life. Let's say they're at 4 life. You're going to go, if they have no energy, they tried to kill you, but they didn't. You're going to go Absolute Annihilation, tap 1 to play Clash of the Soldier. You're going to swing. They can't stop you. You're going to restand. You're going to go to Nova 8-drop. You're going to get 3 swings off that. You're going to Gohan Piccolo on one of those swings. You're going to get a swing on this, a swing on Gohan. Piccolo, you're going to overwhelm for another swing. You're going to get your leader swing. They can't interact with you because guess what? You just tap 3 and played this card. This card is insanity. This card needs to go. This card is not healthy for the game. I am a yellow main. I main deck yellow. I don't main other colors. Like, red is my second most played color, but yellow is easily my most played color. This card needs to go. It just gets wins that you don't deserve. And that's the issue with it. This card does not need to exist anymore. And I'm sorry, if you disagree, you're wrong. This card needs to go. Mainly because of this card existed. Now, this card will not get hit. It's an SCR. They really, really avoid hitting SCRs. The only time they've ever done it is with pre-errata Celzino because it was turn 2 quad dueling the opponent, which is inherently like, what the hell is happening? But this card mixed with this is why I'm saying that Absolute Annihilation is better than Swift Retaliation Cooler. Because if Cooler was in the game, you can't play with Unrivaled Sparking. But you can play Annihilation with Unrivaled Sparking. So, Unrivaled Sparking is a tap 4 that everyone knows with this card. It just creates an energy marker for every card your opponent has in rest mode. By the time you're playing this, you're getting 5 minimum of energy markers, unless it's like a blue deck that's untapping a lot of energy. You're getting 5 markers. So 5 plus markers. You'll basically, what happens a lot of the time is your opponent leaves up 1 energy, maybe 2. Let's assume they leave up 1 energy. You're going to go tap 4 for this, tap 3 for Annihilation. Now your opponent can't use their 1 energy floodgates. They better hope they have a free floodgate to use so that they can tap that extra energy, or a battle card floodgate for 1. But majority of the time they won't have anything, and then you're just going to 45 quad them. Oh, you didn't die to the 45 quad, or you did have a negate and now you're tapped. Oh, I'm going to nuke your board. And then you just proceed with everything else because you have like 5 more energy or 4 more energy to play with. And with 4 energy, you can do infinite stuff. This card won't get hit. It's an SCR. It won't get hit. It's not as egregious as pre-errata Celzino was, and that's the only card to ever get hit that was an SCR. This card never needs to get power crept though. If this card ever gets power crept, I think it's over for the game. It's just like how Beast in blue never needs to get power crept. This card in yellow never needs to get power crept. Just because of how egregious this card is. Everything that it does. You could literally delete this whole bottom activate main, and this card would still be broken. But because it also has this bottom activate main, it's ridiculous. So I'm going to now blank off the cards that I don't think will have anything touching them. So I don't think any of these will get hit, but I do think these 4 cards will be on the ban list in some capacity. I think that these are going to get banned, which I don't think is the correct move. This needs to get banned, and then to curb Nova, this needs to either get banned or limited. Other than that, I don't think anything else here, although they could get messed with, I don't think anything else needs messed with. But those 4, I do think will be on the ban list, and that might be all that's on the ban list, is those 4 cards. So if you guys agree with this, or if you have any other thoughts, please leave it in the comments section down below. But if you're ready for this ban list, this clam list, this plan list, and you're excited to see what's coming after, the regionals are now done for NA, we're probably going to get one before Annibox. Let me know what you think is going to be on there, or if you disagree with anything besides Annihilation, you don't have to talk. I won't agree with you. No, but if you want to have a discussion, just, put some comments below. I like to, read and respond. But yeah, let me know what you think. Till the next time.